Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the Pulsar NS400Z, the flagship Pulsar. Now this motorcycle has been around for some time, but what Bajaj have done is while they've kept the form exactly the same, they have bumped up the power and added a few features that make it even more value for money, which actually makes it probably the most value for money performance motorcycle in India. So for rupees per PS, this motorcycle is probably the cheapest motorcycle you can buy. So if you are looking for performance, this motorcycle is something which has absolutely no competition. The Royal Enfield Gorilla comes close, but even that motorcycle would require you to pay 40% extra for every PS of power. So in that sense, this motorcycle is the go-to bike if the least amount of money to spend for the most amount of power is your target. Now, the signature headlamp exactly the same as it was, projector headlamp. Now, the one change that has happened is that now the brake pads here are sintered and not organic. So Bajaj claims that the braking distance has come down. Now let's also have a look at the instrument console of this motorcycle, and as you can see here, there is this LCD display which has the tachometer, you have the speedo, you have the gear, fuel gauge, the odo and the ride mode. So this motorcycle comes with traction control and 4 ride modes: road, sport, rain and off-road. You go to vehicle info, you would be able to choose from one of the ride modes. You can also turn the traction control on or off, and this new inclusion of sport shift, which is a slightly less expensive version of Quickshifter without a sensor, has also been introduced on this motorcycle. So in sport mode you can turn the sport shift on or off, and this is basically a bi-directional quick shifter kind of a thing, which is functional only in the sport mode. You also have Bluetooth connectivity along with music. You have the trip info about the motorcycle where you get the average fuel efficiency as well, and apart from that you can also have a look at the bike info, which gives you the distance to empty as well as the battery voltage. You also get a lap timer here. You get a USB-A socket, and this is how the switch gear looks like. You have the low beam, high beam and flasher, and these controls are for the instrument console, as I just told you. Turn indicators, this is what the horn sounds like. You obviously have a hazard button, and this is the engine kill switch, headlight on and off, and this is what the rear view mirrors look like. What do you think about the design of these? Although it has not changed, do let me know. The fuel tank is taken from the Pulsar NS200. This is 12 liters, and I've turned the engine off just to turn it on again. Hand the mic over to my colleague so that you can have a listen. Now the headline news here is none of what I talked about. The headline news here is that the power is now up by 3 PS, and this motorcycle now produces its peak power of 43 PS at 10,700 RPM, which is 1,000 RPM higher than what it was in its previous version. The peak torque is 35 Newton meters and is produced at 7,500 RPM, and that remains unchanged. The ground clearance is about 165 mm and the seat height is 805 mm. Now have a look at the seating position. This is the rider triangle. My height is 5 feet 10, and you can have a look at how well I'm able to plant my heels into the ground. So that should give you a good idea of how tall a person can sit on this motorcycle in a comfortable manner. Talking about the seat, you can have a look at the size of the seat as well, the length of it, the width of it, and it's a step seat. You also have these grab rails. Now a few other changes that have been made are to the air intake system, where the duct size has been increased, and all of those changes have been made to make sure that the power output that I talked about is increased. Now all of that has led to a better sprint time for this motorcycle, from 0 to 60, from 0 to 100, and the top speed has also now improved. So the 0 to 60 time has now come down to 2.7 seconds from 3.2 seconds, which is 0.5 seconds quicker, and 0 to 100 time from 7.5 to 6.4, which is 1.1 seconds quicker to 100 and the top speed of this motorcycle is now 157 kilometers per hour as claimed by Bajaj, which is up 7 kilometers per hour from its previous top speed. Now, a change that has happened by virtue of all the changes that I told you about is that the price is also now up by about 8,000 rupees. So from 1,87,000 rupees, the price is now up to 1.95 lakh rupees, an increment of about 8,000 rupees. But even with that increment, this is by far the least expensive 400cc motorcycle, especially with the kind of power that it has, that you can buy right now. Everything else, as I mentioned, most of the features are the same. The changes that I mentioned are important, so let's go through them once again. You now get a bi-directional sports shifter, you now get sintered brake pads, you now get better acceleration, you now get more power, now you get 1000 rpm more, 3 PS more of power, and you have to pay 8,000 rupees extra for all of that. Now, in addition to all of that, there are two more changes. Now, since the power has increased, the rear tire has been increased from 140 to 150 section, and up front, now the tire is radial. So that again is a great improvement. And this was required because the previous tire was slimmer, and up front you did not have a radial tire. Also, the throttle response in the sport mode is now more aggressive, and if you're interested in knowing exactly how all of these changes have impacted the power and torque curve of this motorcycle, I would be very happy to share with you these two graphs. So as you can see, there are three different lines here, and this here is the actual throttle opening, and this is the throttle opening by the rider. So in sport mode, as you can see, the throttle opening will be the most throttle opening will be in the sport. This is your road and off-road mode, where there is a moderate opening for the rider's request, and this here is the rain mode in green. Similarly, as you can see here, the solid lines in blue are the previous gen motorcycle's power curve, and this solid red line is the new power curve. The dotted blue line is the previous generation motorcycle stock curve, and this dotted line is the new motorcycle stock curve. So as you can see, the power is higher, but the power's curve is also flatter. The torque, although, has not changed, but the torque curve is now flatter as well. I'm not supposed to share my opinions about this motorcycle. It has been around for quite some time. That liquid cooled engine has been there, and this motorcycle has earned quite a few fans for the kind of value that it offers. In its new avatar, what do you think about this motorcycle? A review will come very, very soon, but in the meantime, what are your thoughts on this motorcycle? Do let us know in the comment section. There really is no direct competition to this motorcycle, so there is no point talking about what else you can buy, because everything else which has similar power or more features or more refinement or whatever will cost you more. But for this price point, do you really think this motorcycle is worth it? Would you rather go for it or buy something more expensive, maybe more feature packed or more premium? Or do you think this is just the right package for India? Do let us know in the comment section. And until next time, this is your friend Amit signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.